facilities. I've been able to create a band inside of the school, and they have given me so many resources to grow. Like the pub has been incredible this year. Everyone who works at the pub, incredible.
Yeah.
Everyone at the SA is incredible. They've been so helpful.
Welcome to Voice Podcast, the podcast for students by students. And today as guest we have Nathan Graham of the band Sons of Rick, also a student of second year in AMC, Advertising, Marketing, Communications. And November has been a busy month for you. I guess last week of October till November, trip to Ireland, launching a new website for your band, performing at St.Larry's, and ending the year, I guess, with other shows in December. So 2022 is ending very well for you, Nathan.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's been really busy. It's been really nice to finally be back on campus, to be able to get into some of these projects and really get into working with the school for doing different things. So it's really been great. A lot of fun, stressful sometimes, but that's how it is. But it's been great. Yeah.
Stressful in a good way or bad way?
Stressful in a good way. It's nice to have that stress where I'm thinking about like what I'm going to do for my next project or what I want to start working on to further myself as a musician or further myself as a marketer and stuff like that. So stressful in a good way for sure. Yeah.
That's good. And how do you think, like we are now approaching the end of the year, not school year, but still calendar year. How do you think 2022 has been to you?
I think 2022 has probably been one of the best years for me. I formed a lot of really great friendships and relationships with people. I've gotten to explore myself further as a musician and as like a school student. I kind of understand what I want to do in my future now. I've gotten to reflect on that and open myself further on, make a lot of different connections. So 2022 has been a really good year for Nathan, for sure.
Well, that's always amazing to hear, like students, everyone in life is having a good year. It's always fascinating. And one thing which is very particular for you as a student is having such a busy life for you. I guess you study, you have a part-time job as well. Plus, you have to manage and also be part of a band and the famous assignments of the AMC program. So tell us a little bit, how do you manage all of this as a student?
Yeah, for sure. Well, definitely my first suggestion, go to Dollarama, buy an agenda. That's helped me tremendously. My first year of AMC, I went without anything. And there's a lot of times where I was cutting it really close. I found being able to write down when assignments are due and when I'm going to be doing certain meetings and stuff has really kept me on track. Just like writing down the timings and making sure if you have an assignment, put it due as the day beforehand. So you're not stuck doing it last minute, having to cancel plans because of that. And just be smart about what you're planning. Don't take on more than you can actually take on, because sometimes that creates problems, and I've done that before. So just don't overdo it, but it's okay to have a busy schedule if you think you can manage it. But again, don't overdo it. Get an agenda, write down when things are happening, and that's my best strategy. Time management is definitely one of the most important skills in life. At least I think so. So being able to start working on that and understanding what works best for you is one of the best things you can get in life, for sure. Yeah.
So again, like speaking of managed time, so you invest a lot of time, I guess, with Sons of Rick, right? And we're going to talk a bit about your band, Sons of Rick. So we have, I guess, you, we have Joel, we have Nick, we have Riley. Thank you for representing them, and I guess they are all amazing members. If you haven't seen them, they're performing at St.Larry's, I guess, like how much time?
We actually have another show coming up December 2nd, which is very exciting. It's going to be with so far we have another band coming in, and we might have one more. We're still working out the details, and actually we're working with the AMC program to make an advertising plan for it. which is really exciting. So December 2nd, and we're looking to book a few more concerts throughout December and hopefully January, but still working on that for sure.
That's good. You have a very good music scene in Kingston also. I guess a lot of platform to perform as well. And speaking a bit of history of Sons of Rick, how did you meet each other, you know? I think you and Joel knew each other before.
Yeah, for sure. So if we're talking about Joel, me and Joel have known each other for a while. We used to do rock camps back when we were younger. And actually we formed another band together that I still work with, actually. That's another side thing. But so we met back then, and he decided to go to SLC, and so did I. So that's great. For Nick and Riley, well, Nick and Riley are both in the AMC program with me. And I still remember our first day of orientation. We were going through what we each like to do and stuff. And I saw Nick, and he was like, I like to play guitar. And he was so like joyful and optimistic. And I was like, I have to be friends with that guy.
Of course.
And Riley as a drummer, like it was really cool to see there was like so many musicians. So at the start I was like, I want to meet these people. And I mean, with COVID for the first year, it wasn't as easy, but now actually I was working with Riley throughout the summer with recruitment here at SLC, so we got to know each other pretty well. And if we're talking about the formation, well, we had a student, Nayeli, in our program. She asked me if I could set up some live music for her. And I was like, yeah, I could probably do that. So I talked to Nick, Joel, and Riley, and I was like, can we do something? And we put together a band. We put together a set list of covers and stuff. And we played there outside for her birthday. And it ended up being really nice. And we're like, this is something we can definitely work with and create. And as three of us are AMC students, we've been doing a lot of marketing and creating like a brand and brand image. So it's been really cool experience, not only for the music part, but also learning how it is to like set up like a brand and do marketing stuff like that. So been a great experience.
Amazing, you know, like just seeing how you formed each other, very not coincidence, but more like you were all at the right place at the right time kind of way. And one is a drummer. So tell me a bit about the role of the other members.
Sure. Yeah. So we like to switch around a lot. We're all pretty versatile in our musical roles, but Riley is our mainstay drummer. She's always doing the drumming. She's really good. And then I do the lead vocals, so most songs I'll be singing on or maybe doing some backup vocals, and I also do guitar on it. Now Joel, he does most of the lead guitars. He does solos very well. I've always been impressed with that. And he's also decided to take on more singing roles, and I've been very impressed with his progression. And then Nick is also playing guitar with us and also doing vocals as well, and he sounds really good. We have a really good mix of everything. And then me, Nick, and Joel can all play bass, so we kind of all change between guitar, bass, and singing.
If there's one thing I would love to play the bass. I just love how badass the sound is. You know?
It is very cool. Like just hearing that beefy, like chunky tone. And I mean, the bass, it doesn't get as much credit as it should. It really keeps songs together and really gets the low end of the sound in there and makes it more like full. So bass is a very cool instrument, and I've come to appreciate it more as I've had to take on the bass for certain songs in Sons of Rick since we switch around. So yeah, bass is definitely cool.
I really like how bass is like, I always love second layers. I'm not a very good in musical terms, but like, you know, the second layer of tracks which keep the flow together, you know, if there was only the first layer, like of the main part of it, then it would sound like very empty in some point. So I just love how the bass keeps all of it together in a flow, you know. It's like,
for sure.
It's like a very unctuous cream cheese flowing in.
Yeah, for sure. I've played a show once without a bass for most songs, and although it sounds good, it does sound like empty, like it's missing something. So definitely keep bass in any song. It's important for sure.
True, like the bass sauce in pizza. And so tell us about the first show which you organized for your friend's birthday party. How was it for you, all the four of you, to manage that show, to put it together?
Yeah, so it was a cool experience. So I talked to them, and I was like, I proposed the idea, and they were all pretty interested. Like, I mean, I knew everyone. Joel hadn't met Nick or Riley before, but actually, they all got together really well, and we all get together really well. We like to go out and do stuff, but basically, we all sat down. I have like a little setup in my basement. And we decided on which songs we each like.
Yeah.
And then which songs are like simple, because we didn't have that much time to do it.
Yeah.
So we thought of some covers that would be simple but fun and enjoyable. So we kind of wrote down how many we wanted and which ones we did. We did like a little voting system on which ones we would choose. And then we set that down, and then we each decided who's going to play what for each song, depending on the voice. I sang most of them, and then assigned everyone to go home, learn their parts for certain things, and then we'd come back later and work through certain songs together, and like we'd help each other. Certain things are more difficult, and one person knows it better, so they'd help us with that. And it was a lot of collaboration for sure. And a lot of teamwork, and we definitely put a lot of sessions together. Most nights we were at my house just playing and getting ready for the show. And it was a really exciting time to get back into it, because I hadn't actually played a live show for a while. So it was cool for sure. And then when the night came, I have like some equipment and some speakers, amps, and it was a lot of stuff to pack.
Yeah,
but I threw it
that's
all
what
in
I
my
imagined.
trunk. And we each drove ourselves down to the location, set up all the stuff. It was limited, but we had everything we needed, and it ended up being a really cool show. We played very well, not too many mistakes. I mean, there's always going to be mistakes in music. Most people don't actually notice unless you're actually in the band or like someone who knows music well. But it ended up being really good. Actually, it was outside. It was like in the evening, so the neighbors, like 3/4 through the set, got us to turn it down. But it was still a lot of fun, and it really showed us that we worked well together, and that we could keep going further with the music and playing and stuff. So it was a great way to rally us all together. Yeah.
Well, great teamwork, but great passionate people with the same fire. That's great to listen to. What was the first track which you played together as a band? So coming on that stage, do you remember it? Or
the first song, I believe we did "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana, which for me has always been like a classic opener. Just simple song. I personally love Nirvana, and I mean, if you ask any musician, they'll tell you it's a simple song to play. And it's a fun song too. It's got a lot of energy, and it was kind of like almost used as a sound check. Now, one thing I will say is normally our first song recently as an opener has been Seven Nation Army, and that's been a lot of fun as well to open with. Like when we played Seven Nation Army for our first show at the pub, that was an incredible feeling. Like I heard all the instruments, we had all the people watching, and it just felt right. And like playing Seven Nation Army as an opener is one of the coolest feelings.
How would you say like having an opener is crucial for a band? Like, is it like as someone who doesn't know, how important is it to have that opener? You know, like
I mean, choosing songs in a certain position is like half the battle sometimes. Knowing when to play songs is super important. Having an opener that sets the tone for the rest of the show is like crucial for sure, because it's kind of letting the audience know what they can expect from you. So having a song that's not too slow, where it kind of like the audience is a little bored, but also not getting into like something super heavy where like, you know, it scares them off right away. It's like a thing that's like grand almost. It's like an opening, and I feel like Seven Nation Army has been that for us, but we do plan on changing up our set list, and currently we're working on like deciding what our next opening song is going to be, and hopefully in the near future we're going to be opening with our own song. So we have been working on originals recently, and I mean, it's difficult. We don't have that much time with assignments and stuff, but definitely expect at least one original from us in the upcoming show, maybe even two. So we'll see for then. But yeah, I do hope we open our own show with our own song sometime soon. But like you said, opening a show with like an important song, something that captivates the attention, is really crucial. Yeah,
true. It's like opening a show is like a marketing campaign.
Yeah, basically.
First 7 seconds, first impression matters.
Yeah,
everything in first impression. Really.
It's like writing an essay. You always have like the hook at the start, and I guess the first song is your hook. Exactly.
And so what kind of genre, I haven't asked, what kind of genre do you like to play, guys? Sons of Rick?
Yeah, so Sons of Rick kind of comes from, we all have a lot of different musical backgrounds. So Sons of Rick normally plays kind of rock, indie, maybe a little bit of funk and a little bit of punk as well, kind of coming from our emo eras for the punk stuff. But like mostly rock, indie, punk is kind of what we're aiming at, and especially when creating our originals, that's kind of the sound we're going for. And if we talk about like each of our musical influences, for me, I'm more of the like heavy rock, like metalhead of the group. And then Riley likes like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Arctic Monkeys. She kind of likes funkier stuff.
I like Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah. We're hoping to play some more songs from them in the future. Nick is into like indie more, like The Strokes, The Killers, kind of like that.
The Killers, Caution.
And Joel is really like all around. He likes most stuff, but he does like things where the guitar shows off. I don't know what genre I would put that as, but like, it's just, we all have a lot of different musical elements, and we all kind of shove it into one and make something cool out of it. So we have a pretty wide genre, but if we're defining it, I'd say like rock, indie, punk kind of.
That's awesome. And is there like any track which you personally do you love the most, or you would love to play as a band, like but you haven't played yet? Which is always in the notepad. Oh, we need to play this one day.
Yeah, that's a good question. There is one I'd love to play, Chop Suey by System of a Down, which I don't know if you've heard it before, but it's kind of...
I've seen it every time in my YouTube recommendation. Yeah. I think I've listened to it, but do a bit of a performance, please.
I don't know about right now. It's cool because it's got like some melodic parts where like it's almost calm, peaceful, and then like the guitar riff is just like fast and chunky, and it's cool, and the voice is so cool as well. So we almost decided to throw it on the set list for this one, but we did have to shoot it down because in the time frame we have, we weren't sure if we were going to get it up to the standard we wanted. We're also looking at doing Joker and the Thief by Wolfmother. That one's a cool one as well. But we did shoot that down as well. There's another, Take Me Out by Frank Ferdinand's was another one that we were looking at. So we've got a lot that we want to play, but it's just a question of which ones do we think are going to sound the best and work the best for our voices and stuff. So we go through a pretty rigorous voting process on what songs we're going through. We recently redid the voting thing for this upcoming show. So we decided to take like 5 songs out of the set and add 5 new songs into it. And then we're also going to add in an original or 2. So set might be a little bit longer, and we want to keep things interesting. So always trying to switch it up and add different things.
What's is there like any particular moment that as a band that when you record or you practice or you perform, which you you still keep in your memory today that you say, wow, that's amazing?
Well, one thing that I always remember is, I mean, it's annoying at the time, but it's funny. It's, I mean, we're trying to go over stuff, and all four of us have a lot of trouble of just not playing, and we're talking, trying to figure things out, and then somebody just starts playing something else, and then I'll tell them to stop a few times. And then ultimately ends up we all just start playing the song or just break out into one of our songs or whatever, just completely getting distracted from the main thing. And it happens like every time. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons why songs take longer than they should to learn. But I mean, it's fun. It's really just, it's laid back the way we do it. We don't like, I mean, we like to take things seriously, but music is all about the fun.
Yeah.
So letting those moments ride out. And I mean, we really have such good chemistry between the four of us. We've got a TikTok account, and we're trying to post more of our just like funny moments and stuff. We're trying to work more on posting it because we do so much stupid stuff.
I think Nick is the shy one. Joel the flirt. Riley's the dad, and you are
the chaotic one. Yeah, I mean, so Nick is
Tell us a bit about this TikTok. Okay, why each one is associated?
Yeah, we thought about it for a while. Because Nick, although like he's kind of shy, but he's not shy. He's got like one of the coolest personalities I've ever met. He's always interesting, but he's like kind of shy, but then he's not shy at all. It's really weird. And then Joel was put as the flirt because he's gone through a period where he always lets us know what's going on in his romantic life. So we decided to label him as the flirt for that one. And Raleigh's kind of the dad type. She's always there to take care of everyone. And when it comes down to it, she's always like there to help. She's a very helpful and kind person. So that's kind of why she's got the dad type.
Always need that one person in the group, right?
And me personally, well, I mean, I didn't label myself as the chaotic one, but I can kind of see that. I guess I could say I'm kind of unpredictable sometimes. But, you know, I like to keep things interesting and fun. So, yeah, I'll take the chaotic one. I'll take that name with pride. For sure.
Tell us one chaotic thing which you did lately. Like, what was it?
Lately, I mean, really recently today, I went to the pub and Nick shamed me for this. I was eating fries, and instead of just putting ketchup on the side of the platter, I dumped it all over the fries, and Nick just hated me for that. I mean, it's not that chaotic, but
it's not. But
but just
I'm not judging you right now.
Yeah, just a lot of really weird noises, a lot of just really sporadic things. Just I don't know. It comes in random moments, but I guess it can be chaotic sometimes. But I guess the band together, we're quite chaotic. We like to go to restaurants and go to somebody's house and like have fun. And it's not just music. We like to go and hang out actually as a group. So even if we weren't a band, I think we'd actually just hang out friends, normally. So that's another cool thing about it. It's important to have that chemistry, like I said before. Yeah.
It is always, like not to only be a group of, just musicians playing together, but also to have that relationship, I guess, really helps to make things go more smoothly. And going out is very good. Like I always say, you need always that balance. Now let's come to a part of tracks which, like, somebody comes up to you on the 2nd of December, you're performing the best show of the year for you, and that person comes up with a track which you all don't like at all to play. Which track is it?
Okay, so like it's a regular track, like
never propose this to them, please.
Okay, I mean, let's think. What would we not want? I'm not gonna say. I mean, personally, if somebody told me to play Wonderwall, I would gladly play it. My band would hate me for it.
Yeah.
Like if somebody told us to play Smoke on the Water, I would play it, and my band would hate me for it too. But if there's something that I wouldn't want to play, I gotta say, Riley might hate me for this, but I'm not that big of a fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
And sorry for anyone who hates me for it, but it's not that much my style.
Yeah, it's alright.
I will say, spoiler, we are playing Can't Stop by Red Hot Chili Peppers at the next show. And it's not bad. But
You'll have
most
to sing
songs...
You'll have to sing.
I'm not sure who's singing yet because Nick might sing it, I might sing it. We're still in the decision process, but definitely expect that. But I don't know, if somebody comes up and asks me to play like a less known Red Hot Chili Peppers song, I'd probably say no, thank you.
Okay.
But that's just me. But Riley in the back would be like, yes, immediately. So I guess that answer varies depending on which band member you ask, because some songs I dislike, some songs they really like, and vice versa. Like, I'm, again, a pretty big metalhead, so like somebody tells me to play like a Slipknot song, I'll be like, yes. And my band will be like, no.
Yeah, obviously Slipknot. Why? We already know why. If you don't listen to, I've never listened to Slipknot, but when I was in high school, I have friends who would be like big fans of Slipknot. So yeah, I was not too much of a metalhead kid, even if I look like one. Not much. Like, you can judge me on my taste of metal. Obviously, Metallica. I don't remember. Like, I love Linkin Park. It's very mainstream.
Linkin Park's good. I like Linkin Park. And
Linkin...
Metallica too. Like, Metallica actually has been a pretty big influence on me. They were one of the first bands I really got into metal through. So
yeah, like I like The Memory Remains.
Yeah.
The Unforgiven.
Oh, that's a classic. For sure.
Master of Puppets.
Of course.
And what was the one which Miley Cyrus did a cover of? I forgot the one. Like,
Miley Cyrus did a cover of a
Metallica
song.
It's amazing. You will love it. Every time I say this to one person, she nailed that one.
Okay, I will.
It's a
will
classic.
Go home and listen to that. Miley Cyrus did a Metallica cover.
Yeah, it's the best cover I've listened to.
Really?
Yeah. They have Elton John on it, but my phone is just there. We can play it right now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I won't be able. I will get copy striked.
Yeah.
But if you have it, if you have Spotify, it should be good.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm so interested
We'll get
to
your
hear
first
this.
thoughts on it. What do you
Okay.
think? Miley Cyrus, Metallica.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Very nice. Yeah. I can see why you recommend that song. Yeah, her voice it fits it like
It's it. I was
so well.
Surprised. I was like, I always keep an open mind with music, and because it's artistic, never know what can someone create, I'm just like, okay, let me give this a try. I was not ready. I was in a trance state. I was in my own world. I was like on the verge of tears. At the third listening, I was like crying. Oh my God, this sticks.
It's
so
powerful.
deep.
And really,
It's
with
powerful.
Elton John on the piano and the intro and the outro there, and the violin. I love violin so much. I wish I could play it. I hope one day in the future maybe I learn it somehow, because it's just such a beautiful instrument. And I really love when like other artists cover like another artist's song. It's so cool to see how somebody else would interpret another song. I love trying to do like that, like once in a while for when I play. For example, my other band that I play with, I do like a kind of rock metal version of Bad Guy by Billie Eilish, and that's like always super fun And then when we do Creep with Sons of Rick, we do it through normally. Like, it's nice. It's a beautiful song. But then at the end, we do kind of like a pop punk version of it. It always gets the crowd super like hyped, and it's just so much fun taking like someone else's work and interpreting it in your own way. So I love seeing that.
I love covers. Like, it depends. Like, since this year I haven't listened to that, I don't have a new set. So, but on my old PC laptop, I had like 80,000 tracks. Like,
wow.
Like, people tell me, Sean, how do you not watch TV shows? And I spend so much time listening to music that it gets me creative. You know, I imagine movies with music. I create them myself. Yeah. With my own stories, and I just love that. I keep a notebook where I know that, oh, that could be a good music clip. It goes. I just love writing those scenarios with music. But yeah, one of Rage Against the Machine.
I love Rage Against the Machine. Actually, like, there's I think it's Denzel Curry.
Denzel Curry. Oh my god, I love this one.
It is my favorite. Like, I might like it more. It's
better than the original. I'm sorry. I agree. Like,
it's Bulls on Parade.
Bulls on Parade.
It's so good. He's
that
like,
second verse.
It's so good.
Oh man.
He's like unhinged during it, and he just sings it with so much passion.
And when you watch the clip, he's like,
I love when he starts on the ground, because we do Bulls on Parade with Sons of Rick, actually. Yeah. And I think I might, for the next performance, kind of copy what he did.
It's very high level, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I wish I could sound like he does. His voice.
He has that.
He's
angry, man.
Yeah. Well,
it's what like the original band was all about, you know, like all that rage. It's rage. Like,
I mean, I saw a comment, I think on the video, it said like Rage Against the Machine was writing it like they were angry at the time of what's happening. He was like singing it because he's angry that it's still happening to this day. True. Yeah. And it was a really cool comment, and I absolutely love it. I'm so glad you actually you know that, because I saw it like a month ago, and I'm like, wow, like, incredible.
I'm still like, you know, like, I don't know what made me click. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, let me just click. You know, I'm in a vibe. I just click. I was, in fact, it was a formula. It was a reel which used like it's Red Bull. If you love Formula One, there's Red Bull team. So like they use like the term Bulls on Parade in that reel. Then I'm like, okay, but let me Google Bulls on Parade.
Right.
Then I listened to the original one, and I was like, I think automatically played, okay, but this version is actually very good.
Yeah.
Like, my goodness. It remained my favorite track for like probably 4 months. Like,
oh yeah, I wish it was on Spotify.
It is on Spotify.
Is it?
Yeah. On Denzel Curry, like Bulls on Parade. Is no longer in my on repeat.
Yeah, you're right.
It's still.
I'm throwing this in my playlist. I've been listening it
working
on
out.
YouTube.
It's in the workout playlist every time. It's in the workout playlist. Need to have this one.
I'm glad you let me know, because I will be listening to that.
Oh man, like, anyway, it's like those tracks are just amazing. Other tracks which I love covers are Hosier. Mm-hmm. I think Riley will love this. Do I Wanna Know? Hosier did a cover of it.
That's so cool.
I don't know if she listened to it, but if you're a fan of Hosier and Arctic Monkeys, I think the masterpiece. Hosier's style was completely done in Do I Wanna Know. Do I Wanna Know is a bit spicy, very like sensual, badass type vibe. Mm-hmm. Hosier is more into the soft, elegant, charming, and he adapted it that way.
I'll definitely tell Riley to listen to it. I mean, I'll listen to it too myself.
Chef's kiss.
I didn't know you did that. That's cool.
Oh man. And how did it start for you more personally? You loving music, playing music. How did it all start?
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes back pretty far. From the start, I was in elementary school, and my friend Gabriel, who goes to this school right now, actually, we've been best friends forever, but he started taking guitar lessons at school, and I was like, it's kind of cool. I want to like do that too. So I got myself a classical guitar, and I started taking lessons, and I got pretty into it. I played through my like 5th and 6th grade, just acoustic. And then from there, my dad was always listening to like rock music in the car, and I guess that's probably where I started getting my roots for it. And eventually bought me an electric guitar, and I started fiddling on it. And then eventually I joined this camp. It was a 2-week camp in the summer where it was through Renaissance Music, now Long and McQuaid's. I'll shout out Long and McQuaid's. I love that company, great store. But anyways, they put on a 2-week camp where it's for the first like few days together, you all like talk about music and understanding it, a bit of theory, and then you decide on what songs you guys like, and then you choose what songs you guys want to play, and then you assign yourself to what songs you want to like be a part of. And then they've got counselors and stuff, people to help you work on it, and you have 2 weeks to get it up and ready. And the last 2 days are dedicated to doing it all together as like mini bands. And then on the Friday of the last week, they would always organize a show like at Overtime, or it used to be Little Texas, even at the mansion, and we'd put on a show. And that was probably one of the coolest experiences ever. And I did that a few years after, because like I just loved it so much. Playing music by yourself is one thing, it's super cool, but playing in a band and like being in front of people and like being on stage is just a different feeling, and it's like addicting. And from there I just kept doing different shows and stuff, and continuing doing that group work, and kept getting into music, and slowly my taste got heavier in music. One of the bands I got into pretty heavily was Foo Fighters and Shinedown, which are 2 bands I like. I don't listen to as much now because I got a bit heavier, but those are 2 classic bands for sure. And another thing that further on they incorporated was you practiced every day for a summer at Long and McQuaid's, and then near the end they would actually get you to, there's this thing called Voodoo Rock Fest in Napanee, and they'd actually have you play there for the Rock Fest, and you do it as like a cover band. So the first year I did Foo Fighters, and that was a lot of fun. I tore up my voice a little, just trying to sound like Dave Grohl screaming, but it was so much fun. And the next year I did Metallica, and that was the first time where like everything just sounded really tight and everything sounded so like good, and I was like I felt like I was like a good musician, you know. I felt like I was playing well and doing things right, and I was like, I can definitely continue doing this. And actually that Metallica tribute band I did with my friend Joel, who's now in Sons of Rick. So I think that Metallica show was really that moment where it's like I could do something with this and go further.
And how do you see yourself now in AMC and also like having a band? Do you plan on continuing aligning both of them in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's cool because it really can align itself well, because I mean, I'm doing the music part, but then I'm also doing like the content for it. I mean, we all have access to the Instagram. I mostly do most of the posts on there, but we all kind of collaborate together. So it's like that teamwork feeling, but also creating content, trying to make sure you're like looking at the analytics and also staying up to date, because you leave it for too long, then you lose followers, you lose attention. So trying to stay on track with more just content. I guess you can relate to that for sure. It's a lot of work. It's more than you realize, but it's been cool because like in school, you work with clients to help them create stuff. But being my own client has opened my mind further, because there's so much to do and there's so much I want to do, but there's not enough time to do everything. And like you said, I did recently open up a website through Wix. If anyone's ever going to make a website, I like Wix, wix.com. Very helpful. Not sponsored, but
nothing. We don't get any money.
But it's pretty helpful, and I was able to make a decent looking site, and I'm gonna use that to post like updates and events and when we're doing stuff. So And like I'd previously mentioned, with one of our classes in AMC, we're actually choosing Sons of Rick as a client to work with for a project. So students have the choice to choose us as the client and work with us to create like a media campaign promoting our December 2nd show.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna put like I think $100 in like online advertisements through website, so Google Analytics and Facebook, like Meta. So and then students will be able to see like analytics from that. So that's exciting because not only am I learning, I'm also promoting my own band.
Yeah.
And also we're gonna have like screens displayed at Queens as well, because we're gonna have a Queens band come. So I'm really excited to see how it turns out. There's a lot of opportunity. And if we're talking St. Lawrence College, I've really loved how they've like really fostered that element of creativity and opportunity where like I don't know, some other places might not give me these opportunities. I've been able to create a band inside of the school, and they have given me so many resources to grow. Like the pub has been incredible this year. Everyone who works at the pub, incredible. Everyone at the SA is incredible. They've been so helpful. And it's just been a great experience. So
Amazing. I always impressed how every time like I host a podcast, students mostly, like I love a student episode, like where it naturally comes out, like I don't have to ask beforehand, hey, like what did it's like how much St. Lawrence does so much more than just academic stuff. It really gives you that safe space to let you grow and normalize like little mistakes, to make them and just grow into them. And you're the living example of that. Kian, who hosts the technical side of my podcast, is, for example, it's just amazing. I hosted an episode with one girl. She was like a brow specialist. So it's very just amazing to see how this ecosystem of people, doing different things, but just growing to become very talented people. And it's just amazing to see. And hats off to your camp. Like, just remind me the name. I can never get the name, which you told me, like where you did the camp for your
used to be Renaissance Music, now it's Long and McQuaid's.
Long
and McQuaid's.
Long and McQuaid,
they've been great. I mean, I guess I'll shout them out too. They are really one of the reasons why I've gotten so far. Well, actually, it was a person who really organized everything and fostered that sense of music in me. His name's Dave Lavalle. He's kind of taken a seat back from the rock camps, but I can definitely say that he's one of the reasons why I've gone so far in music. And it's really having those mentors that
need to
push you farther. Definitely find yourself a mentor, because it definitely helps you go forward in life. Having someone that's already done these things and has these experiences helps you learn a lot. Little off topic, but
it's perfect. That's what podcasts are made for. We're not in an interview. We're just, I always say, it's a conversation, not an interview. So, and I just love it, like even like how you use your course to your passion advantage, just how, you're going to learn so much from it, and you invest yourself much more. I hope that the ads, and also at Queens, that you're getting the display, like it's going to work on very well for you guys. Like, since you've been coming, I've watched part of shown the stories of my friends. I haven't been. I'm always busy with assignments. So no, that's an excuse. I will come definitely. Like tonight, I don't know, but on the 2nd of December, it's a date. I hope I can. There's nothing happening on that day, but I'll surely come to see you guys live. And coming to your course also, like I can see that you have more of that, using your band and your course together to really go forward in life. And I guess there was a trip to Ireland, which you did, which kind of relates to that. Can you speak to us about it, what it was about mostly? When was it? How long it was?
For sure. Yeah, well, I will say this opportunity has been one of the greatest experiences probably of my life, one that most people probably won't be able to, but if you're at SLC, definitely can. They're going to be doing it again. So I'll tell you about it. So basically, when I first applied to SLC, there's a lot of talk, like opportunities to go to Ireland to study and stuff, and that was one of the reasons why I was interested in coming here. And I mean, with COVID, we weren't able to, but then I think early this year, I heard about the opportunity. I'm like, I'm applying. I didn't really know what it was gonna be or anything, but I'm like, I'm going to Ireland. So I applied for it. I wrote a short 300-word like essay on why I wanted to go, and I got accepted. I was super excited.
Amazing.
And then I learned more about it. So basically, it's a general education class. So if you have like an open gen ed, you can just replace that with the the course code is Gene 7000. So that's great. So instead of having to take like a random elective, I was able to use that and get my credit for it. And if not, you can just add it as an extra class. So it's pretty easy to get into your schedule. And basically the class is entrepreneurial thinking in a global context. So taking entrepreneurship, which is kind of close to advertising and marketing, which is great for me. And then like sending it out worldwide, thinking like making a business in another country. For example, that's one of the assignments we had to do, like think of what country would be best to open a business or venture in. So it's like a regular class. Each week we have class and we learn about entrepreneurship and globally, and learn a lot about that, which is great. It's a really cool class. And then we've also had, before we went to Ireland, we had a lot of guest speakers from the University of Ireland, Technological University of the Shannon in Limerick, Ireland, and they would talk to us about certain things, give us presentations. So it was cool to hear from them, and kind of got us excited. And as we got closer, we learned more about it. So we ended up going for 2 weeks. We left Sunday the 16th, I believe, of October, and we got back Saturday the 29th. From what I remember, don't quote me, but something around that. So 2 weeks long. We left all together on a bus on the Kingston campus, and we went to Toronto, and we were there 4 hours early. So we went to the restaurant and just ate and stuff, and it was nice. And then hopped on the plane, and I've only ever flown once in the past, so it was a cool experience. Definitely recommend chewing gum when taking off and landing. Because I didn't on the way there, and I did on the way back, and it makes a difference. So that was cool. We got there, and we got in Dublin, drove to Limerick, and then we stayed in this really cool boutique hotel called the George Hotel. And that hotel was so cool. It was so great. It was situated right downtown Ireland, or Limerick. And we were able to walk everywhere that we wanted to go. It was like a 5-minute walk. And the hotel was so cool. They had like breakfast every morning. You went down, they served it to you restaurant style for like, well, the school had paid for it, but for free. I'm not paying anything with that. And again, the trip is fully funded, which is incredible. I mean, you're not paying for the flight, you're not paying for the travel, you're not paying for the stay, and they give you a $700 grant in your account to pay for the food, which is plenty for the 2 weeks. So like, one of the coolest things was all the food I got to experience in Ireland. Every night we were able to go to a different restaurant. Went to like a steakhouse, or like we went to an authentic Japanese restaurant. So like we got to experience so much different culture in terms of food and just overall. So basically I'll tell you more about what we did there. So each day for the first week we would go to the university, and we had the big boardroom. It was super cool. And we did what's called a hackathon, which basically you identify a problem in a certain industry with a group. We each assigned different groups between ourselves. And then you had to make like a solution to solve this problem. You decided on what scale it was, and you didn't think so much of schematics of like money and stuff. I mean, a little bit, but it was more like putting that idea out there and stuff. So And then each day we'd do like maybe 10 to like 4, and then the rest of the day we'd have off for ourselves. And on Friday we presented in front of the whole group and in front of some board members from TUS, Technological University of Shannon. So it was a really cool experience. One of the best parts of it was how we were 24 different students, and in total it was 19 different programs out of those 24 different students. So there were so many different backgrounds. And I can say, working for the hackathon, I worked with like people from so many different industries, like social service worker, but then also like civil engineering, wind turbine technician, and like I'm advertising and marketing. So we all have like clashing ideas almost, but it was cool that we were able to like form something together, an idea, and actually make a solution. So that was probably one of the best parts, the diversity in the group of people that went. And yeah, I mean, we visited a lot of stuff too. We went to the Cliffs of Moher. We visited the prison in Limerick, which was a functioning prison, which was crazy. And we went to some engineering places and some boardrooms and stuff. We visited a lot. And then on the weekend, we were allowed to like do our own little travel. So a few of us, we bought a train ticket for 11 euros. Like a 2-hour train ticket for 11 euros, which is crazy compared to the prices here for train tickets. And we went down to Cork, which was a beautiful place. Very cool. I like the architecture, and a lot of like street art was very cool. In Ireland, at least where I visited, there's so many buskers and a lot of music, which was actually really cool. Everyone's playing guitar or is singing and stuff, so that was great. I like to seek out the different music stores there. Actually, there's one right next to our hotel called Savin's Music, and I went into the shop and I was checking out their stuff, and I was just playing their guitar, and they were like, we're looking to advertise more of our guitars. Do you mind if we record you playing and posting it on our Instagram? So I played guitar just acoustically, and they videoed me and they posted on their social media as like just showing off their guitars. So I was like super cool. So I like the music. And we also, the last 2 days, we went to Dublin as well. So it was a lot, but it was an incredible experience, one that I won't forget. I got a lot of pictures, which I plan to post on my social media, but I've been lazy and haven't quite yet, but maybe soon I will. I'll say like, sorry for late post, you know.
I've seen it all around social media, especially on the AMC-DMC page.
The AMC-DMC page. I love that page.
So much good content.
Such good content, and they always post me, which is
but that's one thing, which is like again, like I just love, my biggest passion for everyone is working out, music, and traveling. Pretty basic, but
I can get behind that. I like that.
Traveling is just like, for me, amazing. You know, just hearing someone. You know, Ireland has never been in my top destinations, but just again, like stories of traveling. You know, just you comparing the difference between Canada and Ireland to you. I think to your eyes it was so wow, how
it was
two countries can be so different. You know, and
very different, but also there was like, it was cool to see similarities. I mean, it was nice that people spoke English, but it was also cool that they're really working on preserving their language. Like they have their own language,
Gaelic?
And I think they call it Irish. But and they have it all over, like every sign and stuff, and like when they broadcast messages, they do it in English and in their language, kind of like we do English and French. So it was really cool to see that, and like a lot of the people there would try and teach me stuff. I don't know if I think Nathan is Alam Dum, something like that. My name is Nathan, but don't quote me. Something like that. But it was cool to see how they like care about their language and stuff. So
it's really like, Ireland is like just what only intrigues me is like, my name is Irish style, so it's Sean, with the
Yeah.
SEN tie.
Mhm.
So like I would, if somebody reads it like, oh, that's Sean, like I have some people, but I'm glad that in Canada people like know that it's Sean instead.
Yeah.
In my country, people are like Sean,
Yeah.
it's
Sian.
Sean.
Yeah.
But isn't it SHA? No, there's another way of writing it as well. Yeah.
There's a lot of ways of writing Sean.
Yeah. For you, is Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan. So Nathan.
Yeah.
One thing that's cool is if you say it backwards, it's still Nathan.
Nathan. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they remain the same. Amazing.
Yeah. I got the name Nathan because my parents, mostly my mom wanted me to have a name that can be said in French and in English.
Nathan.
So Nathan, ça fonctionne bien. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I got Nathan.
French speaking. I like it. Yeah. I'm a French. French is my second language. So,
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
English
cool.
is my third language, actually. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. I didn't know you spoke French.
Oui, je parle français aussi.
Oh.
Ouais.
C'est bien. Yeah, maybe not for the podcast.
Anyways, like coming back to Ireland, I guess it's not like it's a process, right, to get through it. And for my question is next, for whom this is, and what's the process behind to get through it to next year if someone wants to apply to it?
Yeah, so it's done through the Global Learning Center. The people there are excellent, very excellent. They're super welcoming and super helpful. So I'm not exactly sure. From what I know, I think they're running it again next year, same thing. So basically, I assume they'll put out signups for it probably like start of next year.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure they'll be posting it all over social media and stuff. And it'll be on the St. Lawrence College website. If you look up global learning or study in Ireland, I think you'll be able to find that.
Yeah.
And basically what the process is that you apply, you just put in your details and stuff, and then they ask you to write like a short, like 300-word essay about like why you want to go and what your interest in like entrepreneurship in Ireland is. And like just, talk about yourself. Don't like over stress it. Like they just want to know why you're interested. So you write that, and from what I know, they're gonna prioritize international students for the trip first, but that doesn't mean if you're not an international student you can't go. I mean, I've been in Kingston since I was like 3, so basically forever. So definitely apply for it, because I don't know why you wouldn't apply when it's paid for you.
Yeah.
It's an incredible experience. You learn so much. So for anyone who's like, should I do it? Should I not? Just apply for it for sure. It's
always
worth it.
Always try.
Yeah.
I always tell people, just go for it.
Yeah, because why not? What's the harm in it? Like,
what's the harm? Like, you will get rejected. So that's it's not the end of it. You're not dying. So
no.
An opportunity is an opportunity. Whatever comes to you. But like you said, don't overdo it also, you know, so that you get burned out. So, but anyways, like, and I'm glad that you had an amazing time in Ireland. Like, all the 24 of you, I guess you had an amazing time, internationals or local Canadian student as well. Yeah. And just the trip, also the education that you got there, I guess it will be valuable for all of you guys.
For sure.
And what else can I wish you for this 2023? What's next for 2023?
What's next for 2023? Well, in terms of like what I want to do in the future is recently I've been into more the like video industry. Like I hope right now, I mean, my things change all the time. At one point I wanted to go into like forensic science, and like that was like a few months ago. I was like, maybe I should go into that, but for now I think I'm pretty set on it. But I want to do like video content, like advertising, so creating like video ads for certain companies and stuff. So recently I've been I got a placement. We're doing placements in January. I got a placement with a company called Viva Productions, and they're super cool. Actually, Melissa Prince, who is the person who's gotten me into it, is a grad from the DMC program, from what I believe. So that's super cool seeing our grads all over Kingston. But yeah, I'm super excited to work with them, and I'm also currently working with their side company, Station 14, which does live broadcasting for like the Queen's games. I got to do 2 like sessions with them so far, hockey and football, and it's been probably one of the coolest experiences like ever, because I'm so giddy about like camera work and understanding how it all functions and stuff. So I really think in the future for 2023, I want to push myself to get more into that industry and gain more connections and stuff that way. And of course, continue working with the band.
Yeah.
I'd like to have at least 2 singles released
2 singles
for next year, and maybe late next year, maybe an album. Who knows? It depends how far we go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little ways away, but if I'm setting goals, I'd like to have an album out for next year. Be further in the film and like video industry, and just be a better person, I guess, you know?
Yeah, that's still a great goal to achieve. If you we always become a better person.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's how I felt in Ireland when I got there for the first while. My throat was just, I was just talking like this, like.
Yeah, thank you so much for carrying me because Nathan, and I can wish you all that, Nathan, like for 2023. What you did in 2022 is already amazing for me, like someone who's very ambitious myself. I'm just impressed always. Like that's why I love hosting this. I always meet impressive people, and I'm like, I should listen to my podcast more as a listener, you know, like I would learn some things from it. I just love from the beginning how you organize yourself, how laid back and not too seriously you kind of balance this with your band, with Joel, Riley and Nick, how you have this teamwork, you know, going on in a band. Just my love of music anyways, and the first show to now having the ambition of creating an album, discovering new horizon with a trip to Ireland and using your AMC course to your advantage. And I can just tell you that you achieved great this year, and you will do great also next year. Also keep the same mentality, the same passion and desire, and all 4 of you are going to do amazing things. And I hope SLC students can be motivated by you, and do check their website. It's very new. Give them some beautiful traffic, you know. Visit them. I'm sure they will post amazing content on it. Their social media, which is Sons of Rick. How is it written?
Sons of Rick. So SONS space of space Rick.
Sons of Rick, the website as well, which I will put the link. And you can listen to the podcast also every week as well. If you're listening to Sons of Rick, it's SA Voice Podcast on Instagram. It's Voice Podcast on YouTube, on Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts. Right now, there are billboards. You can scan the QR code and watch the previous episode of me hosting our CEO, Glenn Volbrecht. And also, don't forget, 2nd of December at St. Larry's Pub, Sons of Rick is going to be there. So please do come in great numbers. Bring your friends. Have a great time at St. Larry's and enjoy the music, simply. And thank you again, Nathan, for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. It's been a great experience. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I've realized stuff about myself just talking. It's been great. And anyone who listens to this podcast and gets to this point, if you tell me you got to this point in the podcast and you come to the December 2nd show, I will give you a high five personally. So just tell me you listen to this point and you'll get a high five.
Amazing. And again, so I'm sending a high five to you guys. Thank you for listening to my podcast. It's every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Listen to it and have again an amazing week at SLC. See you soon. Tune in next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Perfect. It's a wrap.